But I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Megan Anderson. Please help feed Bonzer and my family by leaving a 5-star review on the podcast. Please subscribe or follow if you are on Spotify. Without further ado, enjoy this conversation with the GOAT, Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson. Megan, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we started recording, you're wearing an MRags hoodie. I sent you out. That just fired me up. I started screaming. I'm fired up about that. We're going to send you some One Bullet Pod merch after this pod as well.
Go.
But we really, really appreciate you coming on the pod. I don't know if there's any other way to start this off than talking about simply, I think, the greatest country, Australia. I love Australia. I know you're originally from Australia. Yes. For those of us, maybe for the people out there who haven't been to Australia or maybe are not too familiar with Australia, how do you explain Vegemite simply?
Well, essentially it's like yeast extract.
Right.
But the way that most Americans eat it is they try to put it on like toast or bread like you do peanut butter.
Yeah, like Vegemite toast.
So much on. Like you guys lather your piece of bread with like peanut butter. It's insane. That shit's packed on. Yep. Whereas with Vegemite, because it is a very salty taste, so you have to just put like a thin layer and then you're good to go. But everyone, like most Americans that I know, put on like the thickest layer. And of course you're not going to like it. It's like just salt. It literally just tastes like salt at that point. But
I made that fatal error. I made that fatal error of like using it just like you normally would butter, and you bite it, you're like, what am I eating right now? But Australians love it, but I'm not obviously doing it.
We also grow up eating it.
True.
Not like we're just throwing it in the deep end as like an adult. It's like we eat that from like a child. Yeah. So we're used to it.
Yeah.
I can eat it, like it's at the point I can eat it by itself. Like
straight out of like we got one in like a tube, right? Is that how it comes? Like almost like toothpaste, literally like a yellow one.
Yeah.
I'll have to look this up. I've never heard of this.
It's so
like I'm a silent standby, and I have no idea what's going on.
Well, Vegemite might be all right. A little Vegemite.
Yes. Also, the word I heard the word Bonzer is Australian slang as well for excellent. That's what I've heard.
Can you confirm this, Megan?
Can you confirm?
I'm pretty sure we Googled this once. Bonzer definition.
But you're talking about off the top of your head, like so
excellent first. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So, but that's not really used that you've heard of, or?
I have never used it. I'm also not one of those Australians who use a lot of the slang terms. Like I know a couple people that like go around just like, what up, mate? How's it going, mate? Or g'day, mate. Like, I'm just like a hey.
True.
Gotcha.
Hey.
Okay.
So like, it really depends on like your upbringing and also like the same as the States, there's different like sounding accents where you are. It's the same with Australia. So like the more country you get, the more like in Australia, the more stronger the accent, and they're going to use a lot of those like slang phrases, whereas like I grew up in the city essentially.
Right. And I think people sleep on how big Australia is itself, because I think if you go from like, let's call it Gold Coast to Perth, that's probably what a full day drive, something like that. Like it is massive.
Oh no, that's a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's the same size as America. It's like going from New York to California.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's landmass, it's the same size as the States.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I'll probably never go because I'm afraid of leaving my house. But Matt's been and he's told me stories.
I love it, man.
I feel that. There's nothing wrong.
So I feel like I've been there. Between talking to you and Matt telling me stories, I feel like I've already been there. So
I love it.
But I heard on an interview that you did recently that you wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh yeah.
Originally, but you didn't know how to spell it.
No.
So like your parents were like, well, you can't be something you can't spell.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if you could...
so I loved dinosaurs, but like paleontology sounds boring.
Yeah.
So, but like the premise of, excuse me, the premise of like ancient civilizations, like I really liked history.
Mm-hmm, right.
And like going and finding ancient civilizations like intrigued me. So that's where the archaeology came from. But look, archaeology is really fucking hard to spell.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now and there's the A-E-O combination. It's not natural. Like
got me every time.
Yeah.
Like the CH, the ARCH, and then AEO.
Yeah, it's not natural.
It was game over. It was game over.
So
I knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah. Also, I feel like everything's already been discovered. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's left to discover?
That's what you think. And all of a sudden, someone digs up in their backyard like a dinosaur or something. That's like happened. Like someone,
or like a new mummy,
right?
Discovered. That shit's scary when you think about it.
Yeah,
crazy,
I listened
right?
to so many of those Rogan episodes where he's talking to like people who like have civilizations like under the Amazon, or like crazy discoveries. Of, like,
look at the Alien movies.
I know.
It's pretty much the same premise.
So the only thing that's like soothing to me is on Elon Musk's last episode with Joe Rogan. He was basically saying like, yeah, if there were aliens, I think we would know. Like if they tried to visit us or send us a sign. So that was reassuring when like one of the smartest guys in the world told us that at least if they're here, they're really stealthy, which I guess is a little bit scarier. But
he also named his kid an acquaintance.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's like a genius, but he's also a little bit like, you know, Elon, what's going on there? What is it?
He's pretty terrible at Warzone though. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's an easy gulag every time. I would.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope so. Oh my god. These gulags are.
Yeah. I want a Megan versus Elon gulag. I want it now.
Well, he wouldn't even know how to hold the controller. I would be an easy win.
That's very true.
Oh, knowing me, I would blow myself up.
No.
Throwing a Semtex.
Easy wins, Megan. Easy. Oh, the Semtex get me though. They blow up way too fast. You accidentally stick it on a wall.
Yeah, they stick.
Dude, I do that all the time. I throw it and it hits like the little corner, the edge of the wall. I'm like, run away.
You know what's so frustrating? You play, if you ever hop on Cold War, the operator's lefty. So now you guys throwing lefty Semtex. Yeah. I stick so many Semtex onto walls in front of me in Cold War, so much more than I do in Warzone. It's terrible. Thank God I don't play Cold War because that game is not amazing, but it really throws me off sometimes.
Did you play Cold War, Megan?
I have played a little bit. I played the beta, the multiplayer when it first came out. I played the zombies when it came out, and I tried to play multiplayer, like just like a custom lobby to level up my FFAR.
Right.
Oh my god.
Hard.
The mechanics.
Yeah.
Like going from Modern Warfare to Cold War, like
the
mechanics, like you run so much slower. You move so much slower. Like everything is just feels so weird. I was like, I can't do this.
I get motion sickness playing Cold War.
Literally.
No, Bonzer really can't play Cold War.
Like, because the character is kind of like jumping up and down, and just like while just playing, like I'm like, all right.
It just feels so slow. Like I'm like plodding along like this.
Yeah, we're spoiled with the Modern Warfare movement.
They really should have went Cold War then Modern Warfare. Like it's really weird how they reversed it.
I know. And now a report just came out today from Call of Duty News that they think the next Call of Duty is going to be based in World War II. So
going back.
And I don't understand it because how many more World War II games is Call of Duty gonna do? Like I love World War II, like I love all the history behind it, and I thought like some of the first games of Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, and World War II were awesome. But like we're a little bit past it. I personally think, right? The last World War II in Call of Duty was a flop, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree. It's like, are we still going back? Like, let's go.
Apparently.
You know,
Apparently.
It's crazy.
I don't know why, but.
For those of the people listening who don't maybe know how you first started streaming and gaming, do you want to talk about the rise of Meatball Nation? I mean, it has been awesome for me to see the growth of your stream from when I first casted the Barstool tournament with Robbie Fox, right? Yep. And you were playing with Pineapples and Chun. And were you playing with Glennie as well? Who was your fourth?
Yes.
It was Glennie, yeah. And then like seeing you now, like you're just chilling over like 100 viewers all the time. Awesome community, one of the best in the game. It is great to see. So can you talk about like how that all started, streaming in general, gaming? Was it like an outlet?
So, well, I've been playing games since I was a kid.
Love that.
Like I remember having a Sega and playing Battle Axe and Echo the Dolphin, like those type games.
Wow. that noise when the dolphin dies. Oh man. It's like in my brain.
My dad, because obviously we were kids, so like it gets pretty hard. Like it's a surprisingly difficult game for just being a dolphin.
Yeah.
And so we would die all the time. So my dad would have to stay up while we went to sleep, and he would level up to the next level.
Oh,
we woke up the next day. We
Hilarious.
were like, oh, we got to the next level.
That's
bad.
But like, yeah, I remember, like, I still like almost to memory know the cheat for Aladdin on the original PlayStation.
Okay.
To get, well, because you couldn't save the game.
Yeah.
Like, so like if you died, you had to like died at the very end. You had to go right back to the very start. So like I still to this day like almost remember the cheat to go from the start to go right to the very last boss fight. Like I still remember that. So yeah, I've been playing for a really long time, and I just never considered streaming, honestly. It was one of my friends who pretty much nagged me almost on a weekly basis for a year before I like decided to actually start streaming. So yeah, I know, pretty much like a whole year. He's like, God damn it, Megan.
That's persistence.
It really is.
Impressive.
But he's seen the potential, so I was like, okay. And I think it was like November of 2019. I created a Twitch, but I didn't actually start streaming until I think like around March.
Right.
I think it was like after my fight, which was the 29th of February. I think after I officially like started streaming, and like I streamed right from my Xbox. I plugged in a webcam to my Xbox, and then I had the stream up on my laptop next to me so I could respond to chat. And so I started with that for the first couple months, and then I was able to buy a PC, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
Like I still play on Xbox controller, but having the PC so now everyone can hear my team on like in the stream, whereas like they were just hearing a one-sided conversation. I'm like, people probably think I'm crazy, and like myself.
Like no one's in Megan's lobby.
I'm hearing voices up here, I swear.
Right. But like going from that and then getting like the all the little like starting soon live, like be right back
alerts,
like, going to like, and then going to that, and it's been crazy. It's been a slow step-by-step process, and which I've really enjoyed because it helps me learn about the community. And like I look at other content creators and other streamers to see what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, I like that, or I like this, and like I kind of mold it to my thing. But I see a lot of like high level athletes kind of given things a lot, like an NFL player will start up a Twitch and they will get partnered like that without even doing anything. Which like, if I wanted to, I could, but I don't want to do that. Like I wanted to build my channel. I wanted to build my community and earn it like everybody else. Like that's just like a theme throughout my whole life, really. Like I've never been given anything, so I don't want to be like, I want to earn it. And the thing is that like I can be partnered all I want, but like if no one wants to watch, then
you just have the check mark for no reason.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nice check mark.
Yeah, but
we've had a lot of athletes on, and they have, you know, like you said, it's pretty easy to get a partner if you're a famous athlete, whatever. But like I was talking, when we talk to these people, it's one of the unique ways to interact with you or anyone famous is through Twitch. Like there's no other ways really like it to have that one-on-one interaction. You know, you have 100 or so viewers, people talking, donating, subscribing. And people who've always played video games is like, wow, Megan plays video games too. It's just like a cool way to bring people together that it didn't exist before, you know, 5-6 years ago, whatever. It's didn't really exist.
And like, I feel like it's a really good opportunity because when you look at, so I've gone live, like an Instagram live or TikTok live. Like I've gone live and done like Q&As on most platforms.
Right.
And you always get like the weird people. You
always
get the trolls and stuff like that. Whereas with Twitch, it's different. It is like you'll occasionally get them here and there, but like my mods do such a great job of like filtering that out before I even see it. Or they'll time them out, and if they come back and still say stuff, I'll be like, just ban them. Like I have a zero tolerance on negativity, and with lives, you can't really filter that out. Like quickly, and they can just keep popping up. Whereas with Twitch, like I don't know, it's just a different vibe, and that's what I've loved transitioning into the gaming community is that everyone is so supportive. Like it has been a breath of fresh air transitioning from like a sport where like I might train with a team, but it's an individual sport.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I am the one so like, even though we all support each other, you also have to make sure you put your career first. And so you have to be selfish. Like you have to be selfish, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, why would I put my career on hold to support, like to focus on somebody else's career? That makes no sense. But with gaming, like me streaming literally doesn't affect you or doesn't affect somebody else. Like I'm going to attract the people that want to come and watch me that might not be the same people that want to watch you. So like, and what I love is that the people that I've surrounded myself with the gaming community are all supportive of each other. And that's the type of environment that I want to bring to my stream as well.
Yeah, that's great. You do a fantastic job of it. And that is an interesting dynamic you talked about, because when I first started streaming, like back in 2016, I would always say like, and I thought this in my head as I was young and naive, I was like, all right, if I'm live, right, and I have 5-10 viewers and someone else is streaming, like we're competing for viewers now. But it's so much not like that. Like, for example, I have a lot of people that love watching your stream. Like, I'm sure you have a couple people that, like, after you raided me one time, I was playing Fall Guys, a couple people came in there, followed me. And it's funny how it's like you can truly grow together. And just because someone's not sitting in your stream at that one moment doesn't mean they don't support you, want you to succeed. And it's cool because, just like you said, it is a community where we're all growing at the same time.
I think too, like that, like I totally get that mentality because I used to be that way. And I think it's like a maturity thing.
Totally.
Like it's like, oh, somebody else is doing well. That means I'm not doing well. Well, no, it just means like they're doing well. It has zero effect, zero relation, anything on you. And I think that's with anything, like any goal, like you see it so much more in sports. Like I'm sure it's in gaming, but like I only, like I've seen it from like the sporting side is like, oh, this teammate won, I'm gonna pull them down because I am not, like if they're winning, that means like I'm competing with them, and like my career needs to be the forefront of whatever. And like I see it all the time with like young fighters coming through. They just, I don't know. It's like tall poppy syndrome. It's like they want you to do good, just not as good as you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weird.
There's some of that in gaming, but definitely not as much. Really? I'm sure in sports, not as much. But yeah, I feel like the most you can also choose who you play with, right? You can choose who you network with. So you just stay away from people who are like that and don't have that same energy or mentality you have.
So Megan, my brother, King of the North, and J-Pren, who we played with a couple times.
Yes, I love that name.
They are first of all, they're the two biggest UFC fans that I know. And they both, every time we're done playing, they're like, I cannot believe how nice Megan Anderson is. Because in all reality, right, you can kick all three of our asses at the same time, but you like choose to be the nicest person. And they're all like, we literally love Megan Anderson. I mean, J-Prem has been one of your biggest fans since like your come up with Invicta. And he, like, when he got a chance to play with you, he was like, this is electric. So we just want to give a huge shout out to you for literally being just an awesome person and nice all around, where, you know, you could act however you want to be.
Thank you. Well, like I kind of look at it as I like a lot of people, particularly in the MMA community, they expect, like they form an opinion of you based on literally like the things that I want to show you. So the things that I say or the things that I post, like they make an opinion on that, which isn't like 100, like isn't the full picture of who Megan is as a person. And like I get a lot of unnecessary hate because people think I'm this bad person. I don't know why. Crazy. But for me, I look at it as another way for people to see like who I am as a person, and like I'm just really, I don't know, I'm pretty chill. Like,
how do you then flip that switch into like cage shuts and you're in the cage? You know what I mean? Like I know you've been doing it for a long time, you're a pro, but like how does that work in your head?
I don't know. It is just like a switch, and I flip the switch. as Drake said.
That's crazy.
I
I try to flip a switch and then I just cry. So like I would be terrible in the UFC, but like it's crazy how you're able to just kind of like do you think of it as a job or you think of it as just like, all right, this is my life. Like
you have to look at it as both, because it is a job, but it's also your life. And that's where you can flip the switch, because even though it's a job, I use all of my life experiences to help flip the switch. So like I can get I get mean when I need to get mean. And I take all of that experience and I bring that with me to help flip the switch, because you can't be nice in this game. Like once the door closes, you can't be nice. And like you have to be mean, you have to get gritty, you have to be dirty, and to get the job done. Otherwise, like you could potentially get knocked out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wild mentality to see that change. And I think the funniest thing is when we were playing Warzone, you get like audibly a little nervous. And it's like me and Bonzer are like, we're laughing because we're like, if we're in a ring and someone's trying to fight us, like I'm like shaking. I don't know what to do. But in Warzone, I'm like, we're just clutch up. Maybe you get the shakes every now and then. But you legitimately get more nervous in Warzone in Verdansk than you do.
I do. Well, I can't control, can't control that. Like I have had years of experience being in the cage and like being in those situations, whereas I don't have that time in gaming. Like I swear to God, like me drinking my water afterwards is like
literally the meat, the shake.
Like that's me. Like I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Like I'm Eminem. I'm sweating. Knees weak. I'm like, oh my God.
That's funny.
I'm like I feel like I'm about to have heart palpitations.
So
I also don't want to let the team down. So like,
that's part of it. It's true. That's true. No, we have a great time. We have a fantastic time when I play, which is why we obviously love gaming with you. If you had to pick one to play for the rest of, maybe not the rest of, your gaming career, but like if you only had to keep one around, Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty, you got like one of them is just like gone forever. Either the Assassin's Creed,
they're hanging off a cliff.
They're just done. Yeah. Which one are you reaching over to save and pull through? Look, I know you love Assassin's Creed.
I do. God damn you. The market for streaming is Call of Duty, so I would have to keep that.
Fair.
Like
I respect that.
I gotta look at the long-term picture.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people want to watch people stream Assassin's Creed.
Right.
They like to play those like high intense like games that there's action all the time, for the most part all the time. So I would have to, unfortunately.
And it's a solo game.
R.I.P. Assassin's Creed. R.I.P.
Hurts my heart.
Isn't it a solo game too?
It is, yeah.
So you'd be like, playing by yourself the whole time.
But
like
those
going
games,
through the storylines.
You get lost in those games, like hundreds of hours. And it's
Mm-hmm.
fun too. That's the problem. That's the dangerous thing. It's fun those hours too.
It really is. Well, so I'm a completionist. So when I go to an area, I will not move on from that area until every single quest is done, every single like building, like monument is discovered, like everything. It takes me sometimes days to like get through one area, and particularly the new one, like they're huge because we're in England and like the counties are huge, and oh my God. It's people don't want to watch you do all those random side quests.
That's the archaeologist in you, I think.
I know.
Like searching every stone, looking through every.
No stone will be unturned.
Yeah, I think like after UFC is done, you're going to be an archaeologist.
Maybe. We got to spell it first.
I would.
Yeah, learn to spell it.
I'm gonna after this. I'm just gonna keep writing out a piece of paper.
Right. I know. Oh, that's funny.
How did we didn't even really talk to this, but how did you kind of get into mixed martial arts? How did you get into that, and when?
Yeah, well, it was not for growing up. I was very unathletic, so it was not on the plan. I played the piano and cello from 4 and 6 till 15. Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to go to college and become a conductor, and I wanted to conduct world class orchestras.
Wow.
That was my goal. And then I just got burnt out on it. I became a teenager and I was like, this isn't fun anymore. This isn't cool. This is really hard, which it kind of was. And I have discovered that studying and like studying for like exams and stuff like that is just not my thing.
Right.
And that was like, looking back at it now as a 31-year-old, I'm like, yeah, oh, that makes sense. Like why I kind of drifted, because having to do all of these like 8th grade, like you have exams to level up in musical instruments. So I hated that. And then I went to cadets and I joined the military, and I was studying and doing and becoming an officer at the same time. And then that wasn't for me. And I pretty much left, and I had so many different jobs. I worked in a warehouse for Billabong, because it's based out of the Gold Coast. It's based out of Australia. Yeah, dude, I love this stuff too.
I used to skateboard out. I was
skateboards and surfboards are their big things. Yeah. But I worked there, and then I worked at an IT shop, and I worked at like a data entry place, and I worked so many different jobs. And I remember I took my friend up to, she was trying out for lingerie football league.
Okay.
I know.
I've watched a few times.
I drove her up there, and I was sitting there, and one of the other girls who was trying out, her partner used to box, and like we just got to talking. He's like, yeah, do you train? I was like, I just go to the gym a couple times. He's like, well, you've got to build for MMA, you should try it out. Like I was like, I kind of thought about it. It's like, yeah, maybe. And then we started going to like local boxing events and watching local boxing shows, and we went to an MMA event. Well, I went and picked up tickets to a local MMA show. And the guy that I got the tickets from, he was the gym owner, and he coached the gym, and we got to talking. He's like, well, come in, have a free trial, see if you like it. And I'm a competitive person, and I knew if it was something that I enjoyed or that I picked up relatively quickly, I would want to compete. But like being so unathletic growing up, I was like, oh, is this going to be a thing? But yeah, surprisingly, I picked it up relatively quickly.
I would say, how old were you when you started training with this guy?
I was 23.
Okay. Yeah, so that's definitely, I feel like I've heard a lot of stories.
Pretty impressive.
Like 5 years old. They you know what I mean? They do karate and they do judo or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or whatever it may be.
Well,
so there's a lot of young people coming through these days. Like I started relatively late compared to like a lot of people nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Makes me feel so
the
old.
strides you made in the short time were like it's very impressive.
Yeah, imagine training for 7 years and being at literally the top of your sport. It's unbelievable. I mean, impressive stuff. Absolutely impressive stuff.
I guess.
It's all right.
I do things sometimes, occasionally.
No, I respect that. Bonds, any more questions from your end?
So the last question I had, this had steam a few months ago on Twitter, and we have to get it going again.
No, we don't.
Megan, will you fight?
No.
Matt, MRags, and Rough and Rowdy 14?
What's the date?
We'll work the day.
Listen, I checked your schedule. I think you're booked, and I'm sick. I'm sick that day, so I can't make it. All I'm saying is when the first Megan versus Matt Rough and Rowdy started, I was terrified. I was terrified.
How did that even start?
Probably me.
It was definitely like a Bonzer troll. It was someone mentioned it, and then it just gained steam. And then I think Megan, you tweeted something at Smitty, and Smitty was like, even if we tied your arms and legs behind your back, blindfolded you in a ring, we still could not do this. I was like, thank God. General looking out for his troops, like thank the heavens above. So I'd so much rather have you in my corner than ever be looking across.
Well, I will corner you fighting, so I will totally do that. I can corner you to a victory. I
really want to fight this Bonzer guy, like me and you, like
let's do it.
If you just pledge me your allegiance, listen, I'm all in. Rough and Rowdy 14.
Dude, we'll get some like Rocky Balboa-esque like cutscene.
Yeah.
Type this up, like we'll get you running through the streets.
I just gotta learn to jump rope professionally and just do a speed bag. I think if you do those two things, you can at least make a promo video, right? Like I don't need to do anything else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Just
cut
like
it.
shadow box aggressively.
Yeah, like okay. I'll look
Now
up
I'm a
Rocky
little
4, one
nervous.
of my all-time favorite movies. I love that training scene, so I'm gonna watch that like 5 times before we record, and I think I'm good to go.
We got this. Barstool Sports Cross Rocky. We got this.
Literally. Megan, thank you again so much for coming on the podcast. For everyone looking out for you, twitch.tv/Megan_MMA. You're streaming pretty much every night, starting around like 7-ish p.m. CST.
Yeah, I usually Monday, Tuesdays around 8:30. I don't stream on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, Friday, I'm able to start a little bit earlier just because I don't have training those evenings. So I usually get on around like 7, 8.
Nice.
And then Saturdays I have watch parties, which is cool.
I love those. Those are electric. Those are
They
electric.
really are. Like
it
blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's cool having your expertise too. Like you talk about the fights, it's like where else can you talk to a UFC fighter while watching UFC? You know what I mean? Like there's nowhere. There's no way you can do it. So it's definitely a cool experience. I would highly recommend checking it out.
My favorite part of streaming is like rating people. That hands down. Is like seeing like the excitement, like going over to somebody's stream and like I like to raid like people with small viewers because like I want to help them. So like that hands down is like my like whenever I do the watch parties because I have like sometimes I have like a couple hundred people in there.
Right.
Again, blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like going and raiding like a small streamer. Oh my god, they freak out and like I totally love it.
Yeah. That is great. And I've been there for a couple of those and you hype them up. Like you hype up your own chat, like, let's go make someone's night. It's great to see. And it's like you're giving back, which is absolutely phenomenal. Megan, again, thank you so much for coming on the pod. All of Megan's socials will be in the description below, but watch out for her in Verdansk because, again, if she's not sniping you, she's beating you down with her fist. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one.